Hello everybody and welcome back to Herbie's Garage. Today we're on the Lifan KPV 150 scooter and I'm getting close to 1,000 miles on it. So I thought I'd go ahead and check the drive belt on it, look at the pulleys and just check things over. I'll start it up here. And when it's running, it has kind of almost like a knock in the belt. I'm not really sure if the belt's loose or just needs to be cleaned up in there or what. But I'm going to go ahead and take it apart and inspect everything and see what it looks like. So let's go ahead and get started on it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start taking these 8mm bolts out of it. And I'm going to have to pay attention to how they come out. Those two are the same length. I know this one's not. Yeah, that's a pretty long one there. Okay, it's a little bit shorter. I'm just going to lay these out as I take them out. That way I'll know where they go back at. I think that's all the bolts. Let's see. Yeah, those are all the same. So it looks like the bolts are all the same length except these two in the middle here, and the one in the back here towards the back of the bike is a little bit longer than the other one that fits in there. Alright, let's see if we can take this off. I'll kind of be really gentle with it so I don't tear that gasket. It's got a gasket on it. Looks like it's hanging up on the dowel pin here. Fortunately, I didn't tear it, but there's a dowel pin here in the back and it was kind of hanging up on that. Here's what it looks like. The cover looks like there's a bearing in here, and it looks like that bearing is in good shape. That bearing rides on here, kind of gives this stability, I guess. I'm going to go ahead and start this up. We're going to watch this a minute. Looks like there's quite a bit of flop in that belt. I don't know if that's normal or not. Looks like it's operating normally though, because it comes up to the top of the pulley when I rev it up. Let's go ahead and shut it off. Alright, this is a 21mm nut. Let's go ahead and take this off. Looks like there's a nut. And a spacer. And we'll take that cap off. We'll inspect it, make sure there's no ridges in it, which I don't feel any. Then with a 17mm, we'll take the rear one off. Looks like there's a washer on that. And we'll slide this whole thing off as a unit along with the belt. And we'll kind of inspect it. Take this outer cover off. And inside here is where the frictions run. There's a little bit of dust on there, but it doesn't feel like it's got any grooves or anything. And as expected, the frictions are still good on this. I'm not having any issues, any kind of problems at all with it. Seems like it opens and closes fine. And the bearing feels good and solid. Don't see any problem with that. Shaft feels good. Now let's look at this belt and let's see if it has a number on it for future reference. All right, let's look at this belt. It's a Bando belt, which is a good belt. Looks like the number on it is 816 22.6 30. I think that 30 is the degree of the angle of the wedge on these teeth. So it's an 816 22.6 30. If you ever had to get a new belt for it. We'll look at the belt. It doesn't look like it has any cracking. I don't see any kind of problems with it. So this belt's still good. Now we'll take off our drive unit here. You gotta take it all off together, otherwise you lose all the parts. So the first thing we want to inspect is make sure that this is good and tight. This bushing, it slips in here. And it feels like it's nice and snug. It feels still brand new, really. I mean, it doesn't have a lot of miles on it, so that's good. That's good and tight. All right, then we'll lift the plate out of it. And we'll inspect these pieces here to make sure these are still good. And they look good. They're not cracked or broken or anything. And then we'll check all these little weights out. Make sure none of these are broken. We'll wipe them off. I don't see any problems at all with these. These are hanging in there really good. And you want to kind of feel for any kind of wear in here where these rollers go at. Make sure there's no grooves in it. Mine feels perfect. I don't have any issues with mine whatsoever. Okay, I'm going to put these all back in place. Now, if you've ever heard of somebody modifying their bike to get a little more speed out of it, this is what they do. They put different weights in these. You can put lighter, heavier weights, whatever you want to do with it. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm happy with the way mine performs. So I'm just going to put those back in. And then I'm just going to put just a little bit of grease on here because this slides up and down on that. I want to make sure that's lubricated a little bit. And I don't want to put very much. I mean, just a touch, because if you get that grease going around inside there, it's not going to be good. You just want to make it enough to where it's got a little slickness to it. I'll get it off of the top. Okay, then I'll go ahead and line this up. I'll just slide these over like that. And then we'll put our spacer back in it. We want to inspect this, make sure that there's no bad spots on here. Make sure there's no, grooves in it, like it's been wearing. It looks like this has not been going all the way up to the top. It might be, but it spends most of its life not running at maximum speed, so that's probably understandable. I think it looks really good, actually. But before we put all that back together, we're going to clean this up. Clean this up a little bit. It's not that bad. It just has a little bit of stuff on it. Okay, this front seal has a 26, a 45.6, and a number 4 on it. And I think it says OBM as well. That's the front seal. See if the rear seal says anything. Looks like it's got a 20, a 5, and either a 32 or 52. I think it says 32. So it's 20, 32, and 5. 32 would probably be the outer millimeter. The inner millimeter would be 20, and 5 would probably be the thickness of it. Those are probably what those numbers represent. That'd be my guess anyway. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But it doesn't look like the seals are leaking at all. So they're doing their jobs. But for future reference, if we ever need to get a seal, at least we can have some numbers to go by without having to tear a machine apart. We can, have the numbers and have one ready. Make it nice and easy to do. Alright, that's pretty clean. I'm going to clean up that surface there a little bit too. And I'll clean this part up here too. Alright, I'm just going to put just a touch of grease on this shaft right here. That's another thing, you don't want to get heavy grease on it because you could fling grease out here on your belt. You don't want to do that. So just put it on there and then wipe off most of the excess of it. So you have a very thin film. Okay, then we're going to install our drive hub like that. And we'll take our driven and put our hub back on it, or cover, whatever you want to call it. Okay, and we'll put our belt on. And we gotta line it up. Make sure everything's lined up on it. Make sure the belt's in it. Okay. Then we take our washer. Nut. Install that. And we'll put our cover on front. Now we don't want this coming off, so we're going to put a little bit of blue thread locker on this. I'm going to go ahead and put some blue thread locker on this just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. Okay, what I'm going to do to hold this rear one when I torque this nut is I have this, it's made for a car, for a timing or a timing gear, and it'll work for this, but it won't work for the front. But I'll show you what I'll do for the front. Okay, that's torqued to 40 foot-pounds. Alright, on this one, I'm going to have to improvise a little bit. I took my pins out of it. I'm just going to drop a couple of bolts in it to get by with this one tightening here. Hopefully don't mess the threads up in my tool. I don't think that it will, but we'll go ahead and torque it down. Alright. Wasn't the best, but it did work. Ruined my bolts. It bent them. I guess they were some cheap bolts. So that's torque. Looks like it's exact same torque that it was before. The line is still in the same line, so I guess that's a good thing. Feels to me like the belt's tight. We didn't really do anything to it, but inspect it. So I don't think that we can tighten this any. I don't think it really needs it. That's pretty tight. So we'll go ahead and put the cover back on, and then we'll start it up and listen to it again. We'll make sure our gasket's good, which it looks good. It's got a couple dowel pins on here. You just got to kind of line those up. Make sure it falls in. Put the longer bolt in the back. And the rest of these bolts are all the same. I think that's good. Let's go ahead and start it up. That actually sounds better. I don't know, maybe something was a little bit loose. I don't know. Sounds good now though. While we're right here, let's check this air filter. I don't think I've ever checked it. An awful lot of screws. Two, three, four, five, six, seven. So you can see my cover scratched up. I guess that happened whenever I was going camping. Must have hit something when I had it loaded up. I don't think I've ever had this out before. Yeah, it does. It's got a screen on this side. I imagine you probably could just replace the center piece and re-glue one back in. I don't know. But it'd be better off replacing the whole piece as a unit like you're supposed to. Yeah, it's nice and clean in here. Looks like this is for the engine breather probably. It has a little oil on it, but it's not bad. Looks like this has got a drain back here in the back. And then we'll put the cover on and that piece all on together at one time. I like to check stuff out. You know, while we're here, we might as well just look at it. It doesn't take 5 minutes to look at the air filter. Blow it out if it needs to be. All right, maybe we learned a couple things today. At least I did. I've not had that cover off of the belt. I didn't know what the belt number was. You know, if you wait too long before you look at that belt number and you get too much wear on it, it could wear it off. So we know what the belt number is now, so it's going to make it easy to replace. And I cleaned everything up. It sounds a little better right now. I don't really know why. I didn't see anything wrong with it. But it might just be inherent in the CVT, might be the way they're supposed to sound. This is my first CVT automatic, so I'm kind of learning as I go. But everything seems to be good. The air filter's good. I also, as part of this video, I was going to do another valve clearance check and adjustment. I was going to show you an easier way to do it instead of going through the whole process like I did on the last time. But during that, oh my gosh, it is so hard to film. I mean, you can barely get your hands in there, and there's really nothing that I added that was been helpful to you guys in that video, so I scrapped it. My valve clearance was still pretty good. My intake was right on. My exhaust was a little bit tighter. I had to loosen it up a little bit. But as you can see, it fires right up. soon as you hit the button. It does good. It's a great little scooter. All right, that's all I have for you today. I appreciate you coming along. Don't forget to like the video. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I really appreciate it. All right, I'll talk to you later. See you in the next one.